Hello everyone and welcome to today's live stream. First of all, I apologize for the delay. Had some issues with the vPilot not connecting to the VATSIM network, but those are solved now. We are all logged in and we are ready to go. So, today we are going to fly from the Euro Airport Basel-Mühlhausen to Rome Fiumicino Airport. Both of them are part of VATSIM events running at this time of the day, so we do expect to see hopefully a little bit of traffic. And most certainly some air traffic controllers online. So thank you for being with me. Thank you for actually spending the time and coming here. I know that there's nice weather outside, so I can appreciate that you are taking the time to watch today. Alright, let's have a look into what we are expecting today. We're planned on a Ryanair flight today. The schedule, well, scheduled off block is in 12 minutes. We're probably not going to make that. File flight level 390. We are not particularly heavy today. And looking at the weather, Rome is reporting CAF OK. Our alternates, Naples, just got some few clouds. So that's very good conditions for our flight today. I'll spare you the view on the NOTAMs, it's just too many, and I don't want to waste your precious time on the weekend. So, well, it's Sunday noon, so I don't expect too much traffic. Let's go with standard fuel. It will take 5.6 tons, and that should be all we need. And of course, once you reboot the computer, the joystick is not working. Does anybody else have that using the Thrustmaster Thrust-Lever quadrant? Then I always need to unplug it once and put it in again, and then it's working. Yeah, now it's doing fine. Why is this airplane in pounds all of a sudden? Did somebody fiddle with my settings again? Let's quickly reconfigure this. Alright, that's it. That's what we want to take. Well, we don't need stairs on the front, we've got our own. So we weren't planned with too many passengers, I've just set the plan up, that's why I still know it all by heart. 121, and for the load we've just got 300 kilos in the forward hold, that's all we need. So we're going to send the FO out to do the walk around today, and we are going to focus on the flying with this one. Maybe we can manage to squeeze a walk around in when we're doing the flight this evening between Amsterdam and Vienna. Hopefully we're also going to be able to make both sectors. So, let's see what the ATIS says. Information Foxtrot, runway... Oh, sorry, that's the wrong airport. Hey, why is there nobody online at our airport? We're supposed to have an event going right now. Let's see, maybe we can get some more information. Oh, and just as I say, the tower pops online. Alright, so he doesn't have an ATIS online. Well, we'll have to live with it, and we'll just ask him.
Bag 7 Sierra departure, initial flight 7000 feet, and squawk 5740, top with 906 Mike kilo.
Top with 906 Mike kilo, read back is correct. Start Delta 2, QNH 1016.
Start Delta 2, QNH 1016, top with 906 Mike kilo.
Basel Tower, good afternoon, Ryanair 133 Charlie. We don't see an ATIS online. Can you confirm runway in use and the weather?
Ryanair 133 Charlie, runway news is 15.
Ryanair 15, Ryanair 133 Charlie. Alright. So, November or Sierra departure? I don't quite know. Let's go with November. Oh, no. Okay. 15, Sierra. That would have been too easy.
Air France 575, I will change my flight plan because I've no on my CDU the airport destination.
Let's get some silence again. So let's quickly find out transition altitude. Runway 15, Pullback 7 Sierra, that sounds about right. Initial climb distance 7,000, transition altitude 7,000 as well. So someone's asking already, as usual, can I turn up the ATC volume? Yeah, I can. It's interesting that with every stream it apparently seems to get a little bit quieter and quieter. At least my settings used to be all the same, but then again it might just have been the controller who was a little bit more silent. So that's just something. Who knows, maybe when we get into the next controller's area he's going to blow our ears away. But if that happens, we can still turn him down. Alright, so the engine out SID might be a little bit more interesting here. Once again, I'm using Blackbox 711's website for it. Still the best source for engine out SIDs in my opinion. Roma 15 at 4DME, right turn to Bravo November and hold. Okay. Oops. This is what we want to do. So, Bravo Lima Mike /4 to Bravo November 353 Basel Mühlhaus, that's it. And hold, okay. And let's see, MSA. Yeah, the highest is 6.4. We're just going to climb 7.0 in the case of an engine out as well. Alright. Oh, I'm not going to open the Navigraph charts inside the simulator anymore. We've learned our lesson yesterday evening with it. And I'm not very keen on doing another flight simulator restart. So, how's the fueling coming along? Almost finished. So another quick look at the charts. Straight ahead via 152 right turn 076. Okay, then let's put 152 over here. And 076 over here. To make sure we have real time and weather selected as well. Yeah, we do. I recorded a tutorial earlier on using non-real weather, so that's why I was just a little concerned that this might not be set correctly. That tutorial is work in progress right now, and it's going to be up soon. But I also have to pre-record a little bit of stuff right now for the next couple of days, because I have tomorrow off, then the day after tomorrow I've got to drive to another airport than my home base, and then I'll be in the hotel for 4 days-ish, flying from another airport than my home base. So I'm trying to use these days right now to prepare a little bit to get you guys some videos over that time. As always, I'm going to answer questions at the end of the day. So at the end of the flight, rather, not the end of the day, because I got another live stream coming out later on. So the wind is coming pretty much straight from the tail, so let's take -5 knots here. 271016. Calculate. So we are takeoff weight limited. 69,535 is our maximum. Well, and we've got a 700, so we've got 24k engines. 63,884 is the maximum we can do. Okay, we can live with that. So let's actually start getting something done then. Set 1018-ish. 6. Right, so threats for the departure. Well, there might be some local French traffic over here whom we can't understand, so situational awareness is a bit of a thing that we want to keep our eyes out on. So we'll have a good look for the small aircraft and see what we can come up with and try to see and avoid them as soon as we can. Apart from that, I don't really see any threats for this departure. Let's do a route check then. So we go from Lima Foxtrot Sierra Bravo to Lima India Romeo Foxtrot Romeo Yankee Romeo 133 Charlie. And the routing is taking us via Elbeck, Yankee 715 Armob, November 491 Trasadingen, November 850 Udina, direct Tinku, direct Sibyl for the Sibyl 3 Alpha arrival into Ciampino, into Fiumicino, and we're looking for 492 miles with 498 in here, 3 tons remaining. And we need 2.4 for a diversion to Napoli, so we got about 15 minutes of extra fuel. Let's go ahead then. Instrument cross-check. Time UTC 1235, altimeter 1016, reading 900 feet. MFRA, that's going to be 1900. Let me quickly set that. The flight directors are on, minus master. Standby instruments are set. It's going to be a left-sea takeoff from Romeo 15, flaps 5, NADP 1 over here. And EOs it straight at 4 miles, then a right hand turn to the NDB, climbing flight level 70, and then we'll advise ATC and ask for radar vectors. Departure is going to be on Swiss radar, a little bit non-standard since we're in France, but that's standard for this airport. And apart from that, I don't see any specials. Above 80 knots, we're going to abort the takeoff lane. Only in engine fire, failure, predictive wind shear warning, aircraft unable or unsafe to fly. If I call stop, I'll simultaneously close the thrust lever, disengage the auto throttle, apply maximum manual braking, verify operation of the RT auto brakes. Manually raise the speed brake lever, apply maximum reverse thrust. When the aircraft comes to stop, I'll set the park and brake. And if you call stop, I will note the brakes on speed. Call speed brakes up or speed brakes not, and thrust reverse normal up, normal indications. Call 100 knots, 8 knots, 6 knots, and the runway distance remaining. Verify your actions, call your emissions, I call auto brake disarm, and select flaps 40 when the parking brake has been set and advise ATC of the reject. We'll then identify the failure, carry out change as appropriate. If we decide to evacuate, we will do the evacuation checklist. Time permitting, we'll pull the CBRCB. If we call before we want to keep going, there will be no actions below 400 feet except to cancel any warnings and raise the landing over the positive rate. 400 feet, verify heading select and carry out the memory items. At the MFRA, we'll buck up, retract flaps and schedule. Flaps up, no lights, select level change, max and tune thrust, engage the automatics, non-normal checklist, normal checklist, and then we'll decide on the further course of action. Okay, let's have a look into the taxi then. I'm not very familiar with Basel Airport. Don't fly there very often. Not at all in real life, and even in the simulator I don't get to go here too often. So I'm parked over here. Pushback is going to be on to November 3 and November 1. They seem to have a one-way system over here, so we might have to taxi all the way over the apron, but we're going to confirm with ATC when we actually get the pushback. Then Roma 15 will go via November Bravo and we'll take intersection Hotel Figures to shorten our taxi a little bit. Our departure then is over here, LBAC 7 Sierra departure, on chart 10-3 Alpha, effective 2nd of December. In the FMC it is runway 15, LBAC 7 Sierra. Transition altitude 7000 versus 7001. If unable to perform on of 1 report at startup, SIDs include minimum noise shootings and speed restrictions suspended above flight level 110. Okay, so let's quickly go here. We'll put 250/110 just to be on the safe side. Doesn't let us do that. That's a pity. Yeah, in the real 737 you can just type it over it. But unfortunately that doesn't seem to work here. Well, maybe once this is executed? No. Okay, something to report to PMDG then. So initial climb clearance, flight level 70, set once and now set twice. Let's see then for the routing. We're climbing straight ahead to Bravo Sierra NDB. That's what we have in here. Then it's a right-hand turn to Bravo November NDB. And then it's 076, 11.2 miles to LBAC. And that's what we have in here. Let's see, Bravo Sierra 376. Active on the ADF, and 353 is the other one. Oops, no. We'll take this one active. Okay, so the ADF is our primary source for the navigation then. Let's quickly see if we missed anything. LBAC 7 Sierra, climb straight ahead at or above 1900, but not before Bravo Sierra, turn right to Bravo November, then to LBAC. Yep, that's what we briefed as well. Okay, do you have any questions on the departure briefing? No, that's very good. Okay, then let's start doing the safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to PA. Surfaces and shocks, checked. Maintenance status, checked. Battery, on. Electric hydraulic pumps, on. Landing gear lever, down. Ship's library, checked. RS mode selectors, nav, gear pins, 1, 2, 3, removed. Probe covers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, removed. Light test. I keep forgetting that light test. But well, that's why we're doing the checklist, isn't it? And just while I see the refueling is finished, so we can put the seatbelts on. Okay, so oxygen, test 100%, yaw damper, on, nav transfer and display switches, normal and auto. Fuel. Let's see. We need 5,551. We've got 5,600 with 4 pumps on. Cabin utility IV galley power, on. Emergency exit lights, armed. Fasten belts, on. Window heat, on. Air condition and pressurization. PAX auto, bleeds on set. Pressurization mode selector, auto. Instruments, cross-checked. Auto brakes, RTO. Hydraulics. Normal. Speed brake. Down to tent. Parking brake, set. Step from cutout switches, normal. Wheel with fire warning, checked. Radius, radar and transponder, set and standby. Radar and aileron trims, 3 and 0. Takeoff briefing is discussed. Holding a PA. Okay, let's get our IFR clearance. Basel Tower, hello, Ryanair 133 Charlie. No ATIS available. Request IFR clearance to Rome Fiumicino.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact 121.6 for clearance.
Oh, pardon, 121.6, Ryanair 133 Charlie. Oh, now there's an ATIS online as well, so let's have a quick look. You probably got the hint when we called the tower.
Taxi to runway holding point 1.
That's pretty much all what we planned for.
5 via Delta Bravo.
Basel ground, good afternoon, Ryanair 133 Charlie, information Alpha, request clearance to Rome Fiumicino.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Basel Tower, hello, stand by, should call you back very short.
Okay, 26 degrees. Let's get the APU and some air conditioning going. So the fuel truck is done, he can go. The boarding is done as well. That leaves us with our bags.
I care 33 Mike, got Nomito taxi to holding point runway 15 via November Bravo.
Taxi holding point, runway 15 via November and Bravo, I get 3 Mike.
And Ryanair 133 Charlie information is unfortunately not available, so correction information is not yet available, but QNH is 1016. So you're cleared to Rome Fiumicino via Elbec 70 departure, climb flight level 70, score 1000.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, we have information Alpha actually on board since about a minute or so. QNH 1016 clear to Fiumicino, Elbec 7 Sierra, Squawk 1000. Just to confirm, initial climb, flight level 70 or altitude 7000 feet?
It's a transition altitude, so it's flight level 70, which means it's
yeah, that's the opposite way in real life. Ryanair 133 Charlie, roger, we'll make it flight level 70. Yeah, in real life it's the other way around. If it's at the transition altitude, then it's still an altitude, and if it's above the transition altitude, then it's a flight level. But if they prefer to have it that way, that's most certainly something we can do.
We have information Alpha on board requesting clearance.
So let's quickly change the transition altitude in here then, so that we don't get any faulty indication on the altimeter when we change the standard. So, flight level 70, we've got the Elbec 7 Sierra and Squawk 1000.
Stand by short. Yeah, I have you now confirm VS4.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel, and in the name of Ryanair and PMDG, I would like to welcome you all on board our flight to Rome Fiumicino. We're looking at a flight time of about 1 hour and 10 minutes, depending on the local traffic situation in Rome at an altitude of 39,000 feet. We do expect a mostly smooth flight, and we will get back to you before we start our descent with the latest weather update from Rome. Until then, thank you very much for your attention. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and most importantly, the cabin crew is going to point out the safety features of this aircraft in a few moments. I would like to ask you to pay full attention, as this is not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the people sitting around you. Finally, as notified to you during the check-in process, the country to which you are traveling might have specific COVID-19 restriction in force. I would like to ask you to familiarize yourself with these restrictions and abide to them at all times. Thank you very much for flying with us. We hope that you will enjoy this flight. Okay. So we've just got the cargo door open now, but they've got everything loaded.
Tower 118.30, bye-bye.
APU is on the bus as well already. So the chocks can go. Right, let's do our takeoff performance then. So we've got 49.2 versus 48.9. That's again 300 kilos more. Give me 54.9. That's quite alright. So let's see. We'll take the figures that we have. 54,900 and calculate. It's 22k at 39 degrees. And that's with a maximum of 5 knots cross, so that's okay. 22k, 39 is 91.2 versus 90.6.
India X-ray, clear of 25 on Papa.
Hotel Bravo Charlie India
That's 90.5 versus 90.6, close enough.
Good afternoon.
So, flaps 5, trim 6.25 units, speeds 121, 124, 129. Again, the virtual performance tool is currently for the 800 only, while the aircraft we're flying is the 700. That's why there's a small difference, and why I am prioritizing speeds from the FMC over those from the performance tool. In real life, if we were using the performance tool and the figures were that different, we would use those of the performance tool after determining if there is any data entry error in the FMC, because mostly they are very close to each other, so when there is a difference, then it's usually because of some data entry error by the pilots. Okay, MFRA 1885. And that's it. Finally, let me quickly detune those ILSs in order to declutter the primary flight display. And we can set 1215 as well. Okay. So let's complete the checklist. PA, complete. FMC CDU. Set, M1 on ISBAC. We have automatic, reduced 22k, speeds 21, 24, 29. Set. Stab trim, 6.2. Set. Performance weight and balance, sign send, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight windows and cockpit door, locked, doors closed, passengers seated. Before start checklist complete down to the line.
X-ray, Papa, short of runway 23.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
So somebody is asking in the comments, how long does it take in the flight simulator here compared to real life? In real life, we basically set a line at 13 minutes prior to the scheduled off-block time. If we have not started the pre-flight procedure by then we know that we are going to be late. So about 13 minutes in real life, from you start doing the first stuff until you're finished with everything.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed.
Hotel India
All doors and
X-ray,
hatches closed and all
taxiway,
ground
Papa,
equipment is
cross
removed.
runway 15.
Standing by for pushback.
Taxiway, Papa, cross runway 15, Hotel India X-ray.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, stand 30 Alpha, request pushback.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, start off and pushback approved. And information Bravo is now current.
Ryanair 133 Charlie will check information Bravo, startup and pushback approved. Just to confirm, we will be facing towards the southeast, and then we'll have to do the 180-degree turn out of the apron. Is that correct?
You can face southwest, facing taxiway November.
Oh, thank you. Pushback approved, facing taxiway November, Ryanair 133 Charlie. Okay, that's going to make things easier. Before start checks below the line, air complex off, anti-collision light on, park and brake set, transponder alt off. Before start checklist complete.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead.
Hotel India
We're
X-ray,
cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
to GA sector
cleared
Golf
for push
via
start. Please
Bravo,
release parking brake.
via Bravo, Foxtrot to
Parking brakes are released.
Bravo, Foxtrot,
Commencing
2
pushback.
Papa,
You can start
Hotel
the
India
engines in
X-ray.
sequence.
Merci, je n'en
It will start in the sequence.
Tankelijk false.
Okay, so you proved the non-standard pushback, then let's turn the nose to the right-hand side.
Top Swiss 22 taxi to runway holding point.
And start engine number 2.
Via Sierra Bravo, correction, via Sierra 2 Bravo.
Sierra 12 Bravo, 215, tops to 2.
And 2.
Oscar Yankee Victor 8 Kilo. We just
All
did
pressure,
another
and
reflight.
1.
Is looking any better now?
Oscar Yankee Victor Hotel Kilo, yes, I have your flight plan now. Oscar Yankee Victor Hotel Kilo information Bravo, runway 15, cleared to Alten Rhine via Elbeck 70,
Please set
line
parking
flight
brake.
level 70.
Parking brake set. Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay,
Clear
sir.
to
Clear
destination
to
and
disconnect.
combined via
Pin has
the
been removed.
Elbeck
See you at the
here,
side.
departure out of
Have a
runway
good flight.
15. Initial climb is
Hold in
flight
position
level
waiting for the
70,
visual.
squawk
Thank you
1000.
and goodbye.
Oscar Yankee Victor 8 Kilo. Thank you.
Okay, starting 1.
Oscar Yankee Victor Hotel Kilo, reach back correct.
Passage ground, schöne gute Namen, Mittag, Patrick, November 4875, Bravo, radio check.
November 4875 Bravo, schönen guten Abend, Tokyo, Montana, Region 5, by 5.
55 by 52 and November 4875, Bravo, Cessna 310, near
Okay,
Chicago,
so
parking, VFR 2.
all pressure and 1.
Information, Bravo, with us, and we are 1 TOV, request taxi.
November 4875 Bravo, information, Bravo, correct, taxi. Actually, November 4875 Bravo, can you make the intersection departure?
Intersection, hotel should be fine for us, November 4875, Bravo.
November 4875
Start a cutout, monitor
Bravo,
1.
taxi to intersection.
1 stable.
Hotel runway 15 via Foxtrot Bravo.
Taxi to holding point intersection, hotel, runway 15, via function of Bravo for November 4875, Bravo, thank you very much.
So, flight control check. Up, down, left, right, left, right. B4 taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto bleeds on, isolation valve, auto, flaps. 5 required, 5 selected, green light, step trim, 6.2 set. Start levers, idle detent, flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. Ryanair 133 Charlie, request taxi, able hotel.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, taxi to intersection, hotel via November 2 Bravo.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, taxi, intersection hotel by November 2 Bravo. Okay, so if we have a quick look here, November 2 is the middle one, and then Bravo is the parallel taxiway, and we're going to intersection hotel. So the routing is understood. Config.
Top Swiss 22, contact tower 118.30.
118, top to 2.
Clear left. Clear right.
Ground, good afternoon, Hotel Bravo, Kilo Mike India.
Hotel Bravo Kilo Mike India, Basel apron.
Okay, and then we're going to the right on Bravo
Hello, Bravo,
here.
Kilo Mike India is Charlie 172 at Kakba, VFR to Lima, Sierra, Zulu Romeo, 1 POB, information Bravo, request taxi.
Hotel Bravo Kilo Mike India, Information Bravo is
Before
correct,
takeoff, checklist to the
and
line.
then
Config,
count.
checked, flaps, 5, green light, step trim, 6.2, set, takeoff briefing. It's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 15, flaps 5, NRDP 1, takeoff speeds 121, 124, 129, set, and the sit straight ahead to the NDB or 1900, whichever is later, right turn to the other NDB, climbing flight level 70.
Hello, stand by short fully black.
Let's quickly recheck if we have
Hotel
to contact
Bravo,
departure
Kilo
on our
9
own.
India. Can you make an intersection Foxtrot?
No, when instructed. Okay, very good.
Hotel Mike India taxi to intersection Foxtrot via Foxtrot.
Squawk is in, reviewed, holding at cabin.
Taxi to holding point Foxtrot via Foxtrot will go Hotel Mike.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact tower 118 decimal 30, bye bye.
118 decimal 30, Ryanair 133 Charlie, bye. Basel Tower, bonjour, Ryanair 133 Charlie, taxiing hotel, ready for departure.
Ryanair 150. Oh, hello. Stop is 22 with radar 133.05. 5 flight, bye bye.
133.05 also to Dubai, bye.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, wind 350 degrees 5 knots, runway 15 intersection outside Pushback.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Roma 15, intersection hotel, cleared for takeoff. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure. So I believe I heard the departure frequency earlier at 13305. Let's set that real quick. So, before takeoff checks below the line, MCP, set, transponder, Tara, no, not yet. Tara, strobe lights on, landing lights on, before takeoff checklist complete. Timing. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal.
80 knots.
Checked.
V1, rotate. Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Ryanair 150 Charlie, radar 133.05. Bye bye.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, 133.05, au revoir. Command A.
33 Alpha Alpha, 33 accuracy identified. Expect ILS Zulu 15 in Basel.
Expect ILS 15 Zulu in Basel, 33 Alpha Alpha.
Hotel Charlie
Fuck up.
Juliet, contact tower 118.3.
Swiss radar, good afternoon, Ryanair 133 Charlie, passing level 43, climbing 70. Set standard.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Swiss radar accuracy identified, climb flight
Flaps
level
one.
19.
Runway 133 Charlie, climb flight level 190.
Jet 531, contact Milano 127.450, bye-bye.
Set, 190 checked. Flaps up.
Alpine 42 Charlie Delta, further climb on discretion, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, quit approved.
Flaps up for lights.
Giant 85 Lima heavy
Enough after takeoff checklist.
Being GTX inbound, gerade dingen you are.
I go 33 miles, descent
So, air conditioning and pressurization 4.5, climbing set.
Giant
Altimeters,
85 Lima, squawk 1000.
standard
Squawk
twice,
1000,
we'll wait for the
now.
standby until we're above the MSA. After takeoff checks complete.
Switch 73 Alpha, climb flight level
And full
230.
climb thrust.
I go 33 Mike, left heading 180, say Dallas 14, report established.
By heading 180, ILS runway 14 report established.
Giant 74 Echo 6 radar accuracy identified.
Radar 7, still pump request to step out for 10 minutes.
Ryanair 7 Zulu Papa approved, report back.
Report back.
Altimeters, passing 105, climbing 190, 10 checks. So the fuel is balanced with 4 pumps on,
Alpha, Alpha
lights
descent,
off,
flight level
APU
100.
off, air cannon press 4.2, climbing set. Fast melts on, but we can release the cabin already. Recall checked and monitoring 1 to 1.5. 10 checks complete. Okay, 9 degrees, engine NTIs on. Tie.
Hello, radar, this is radar 261 after departure from Zurich.
With a 261 plus radar, good afternoon, identified, climb flight level 290.
Climb to 990.
11 degrees again, small temperature inversion here it
Ryanair
seems.
2407, contact Milano 127.450.
Let's just keep the NTIs on until we're through this.
127.450.
Just in case temperature drops again.
Thank you, have a nice day.
I got 32 Mike, tower 118.1, happy landing, cheers.
118.1, thanks for flying.
FMC message, unable 270 knots civil, we'll take care of that later.
614 Swiss radar, great, identify, climb flight level 150.
Continue climb flight level 150.
Lufthansa 07 Charlie, and operator is available, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Frequency change approved, 07 Charlie, thank you, have a nice afternoon, bye-bye.
Hello, Swiss KLM 456, level 390.
Vertical speed.
KLM 456 Swiss radar, good afternoon, squawk 6775.
Engine NTIs off.
6175, KLM 456.
KLM 456, squawk 6775.
6775, KLM 456.
Ryanair 6437 Swiss radar, accuracy identified. Lufthansa Cargo 558, contact Milano 127.450, bye-bye.
1 to go.
Milano 127.550 from Lufthansa Cargo.
We can release the
Thanks, have a
passengers
great
as
day.
well.
Lufthansa Cargo 558, almost 127.450.
127.450. Thank you.
With air 261, proceed direct Gerza.
Direct Gerza, with air 261.
3 care 73 Alpha, climb flight level 290. So to requesting higher.
So first 22, climb flight level 310.
And 310, top
60 Alpha Alpha, transport descent.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, descent 7000 feet, Basel QNH 1016.
Descent to 7,000 feet, QNH 1016, Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha.
Good day, November 1 Tango Sierra, flight level 300.
November 1 Tango Sierra,
Enough.
radar Grüezi. Cleared Rolfa 3 Hotel, arrival expect ILS 10, currently tailwind 7 knots, can you accept or do you request circling to runway 28?
Circling 28, 1 Tango Sierra.
Roger.
Roger 3 Hotel 1 Tango Sierra.
Lufthansa 28, contact Padova 127375, bye-bye.
127375, thank you, bye bye.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, climb flight level 290.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, climb flight level 290.
Swiss 3 Alpha, fly heading 010,
Set.
vector silent
290
Zulu
checked.
15.
Enough.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, heading 010, vector silent Zulu runway 15.
Excellent views today.
Leipzig 1609, descent flight level 160.
It's really a beautiful area down here.
People 614, further time on discretion, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, west of Luke.
Swiss Sunday, good day, Air France 872, type flight level 5000.
Air France 872, Swiss radar, good afternoon, climb flight level 160.
Flying flight level 160, Air France 572.
Looks at 6551, Swiss radar, Grüezi, squawk 1000.
November 1 Tango Sierra, just further distance.
November 1 Tango Sierra, descent flight level 160.
Delta 160, 1 Tango Sierra.
Leipzig 1609, contact to Geneva arrival 131325, happy landing.
Okay, ciao.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, request for descent.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, unable due to airspace.
Copy 3 Alpha Alpha.
Radar, good afternoon, Oscar Echo, Bravo Romeo, low level Atlanta.
Echo, Romeo,
So that's
Bravo,
going to be like
Romeo,
constants
good
over here.
afternoon, correction, climb flight level
So there's
150.
Friedrichshafen back there, which is also a really nice airport. Got a lovely approach, especially in runway 06. We've got to go there one day on the channel. Vertical speed.
Grand 85 Lima, contact Milano 127.450, bye-bye.
127.450, join 8 Lima, thank you, bye.
Sweet Care 73 Alpha, fly, correction,
Want to
climb
go?
flight level 310. Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, left heading 350, descend 4,000 feet.
Left heading 350, descend 4,000 feet, Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha.
Giant 7 for Echo, contact Milano 127.450, bye-bye. 127.450. Okay, Echo Romeo Bravo Romeo, leaving
Vina.
Meyer station of ATC available, radar service terminated, frequency change to 5.
Our unit on Bravo.
Let's get a quick look from the outside as well. I usually don't do it, but in this case... Right over Zurich here.
Is that 261, climb flight level 310.
Climb flight level 310 with 261.
It's 3 Alpha Alpha, right turn heading 050.
Right heading 050, Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha.
Look, there's 651, correction 6551, contact Milano 127.450, bye-bye. Look, the 6551, verify 127.450.
Swiss Radar, good afternoon. Delta 1, flight level 370.
Dark Force 1, Swiss Radar, good afternoon, identified. Break, Hotel Bravo Lima, uniform Kilo, Swiss Radar, clear to stand by. Care 73 Alpha, report your speed. Care 70 Alpha, are you able to make decimal 70 due to preceding slow traffic? Care 73 Alpha, stand by short. Care 73 Alpha, contact Milano 127.450 in report speed. They will have higher for you. 73 Alpha 127.450.
Runner 7 Zulu Papa, back on flight deck.
Runner 7 Zulu Papa, no for ATC available, radar service terminated, frequency change approved, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. We got 261, first flight level 250.
With a 261, service again.
With a 261, request flight level 350.
261 unable, stop climb flight level 290 for the time being.
Stop climb level 290 with a 261.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, climb flight level 310.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, climb flight level 310. Set. 310 checked. VNAV.
Hotel Bravo Lima, uniform Kilo, pass a message. Hotel uniform Kilo, Roger, Zurich QNH 1017, next report 5 minutes in Bad Echo.
Vertical speed.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, Mikey Tyler.
1 to go.
Sorry, Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, stand by, break, November Tango Sierra, descent 5,000 feet. Alton, rank QNH 1017.
107,500, nothing at all.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, sorry about that, right heading 240.
Those controllers are really doing a very, very good job here. We just have to emphasize that. Especially the center controller here, he really seems to be on top of everything. Despite having VFR traffic, getting aircraft in on several different airports and everything. This guy is doing really good here, really good.
Touristic 25 Echo November Swiss radar, good afternoon. Identified, correction, squawk 6753, descend flight level 100, clear Kempton 2-4 transition.
Squawk 6753, descend flight level 100, Kempton 2-4 transition, tourist 25 Echo November.
November Tango 0, I expect holdover seat door due to apron availability.
That's topic 160.
Kilo 3000.
So, looks like we got into quite a nice line of aircraft over here. So that's going to be interesting. They're heading the same way, so probably also going to Rome.
Lufthansa 2 Golf Yankee says radar, good afternoon, identified, climb flight level 180.
Excited to see how the controllers are going to handle it.
Italy
is always an interesting airspace. Those of you who have seen my flight to Palma de Mallorca have heard what I had to say about the Spanish ATC, especially when things are getting busy. And Italy is a little different in terms that Italy has, let's put it that way, very helpful controllers. They're trying to accommodate all the requests you might make, contrary to the Spanish, who are mainly following their own philosophy and rarely accommodate requests. But in Italy they always try to accommodate them, and I'm excited to see how that's going to work out here on VATSIM.
Del Mike India Zurich QNH 1017.
1017,
Switch Alpha, Mike cleared ILS.
8 firm cleared ILS, sorry about that.
Cockpit cleared ILS, Switch Alpha.
Top 22, contact Milano 127450, bye bye.
2745, top 22, bye bye.
Air France 872, we are ready to descend.
Air France 872, maintain flight level 160, clear, correction, descend flight level 100, clear the Rotos 3 Mike arrival, expect ILS 14.
Descend at level 100, except GLS 14, Air France 872.
Air France 872, clear the Rotos 3 Mike arrival. November Tango Sierra, hold over seat door, descend 6,000 feet. November Tango Sierra, hold at seat door 6,000 feet.
Holding over seat door, descend 6,000, 1 Tango Sierra.
Hotel Mike Kilo direct seat door.
Hotel Mike Sierra.
Air France 872, just to confirm, cleared Rotos 3 Mike arrival, I didn't hear it last time.
Sorry, can you start again, please?
Air France 872 cleared Rotos 3 Mike arrival.
Okay, clear Rotos 3 Mike arrival, Air France 87.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact Milano 127.450, bye bye.
127.450, Ryanair 133 Charlie, bye bye.
Switch Alpha, Alpha ILS fully established.
Swiss 3 Alpha Alpha, Tower 118.3, happy landing, sorry for delay.
Milano Ciao, Ryanair 133 Charlie, level 310 in Mount Udina.
Ryanair 123 Charlie, Milano radar, ciao, radar contact, proceed as file and continue climb flight level 350, only 350.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, proceed as filed, climb flight level 350. Confirm that's going to be final?
Yes.
Grazie. Set. 350 checked. Alright. So, 350 once, twice, and 3 times.
Sweet car 73 Alpha, Milano?
Monitoring 1 to 1.5.
Car 70 Alpha, go ahead.
73 Alpha, yes, I saw the message. Right now we have a lot of traffic, so for this reason I'm trying to call the other traffic. So, yes, I know that maybe it's just a little bit unpolite, but really, I have probably 20
speed.
or more traffic inside my airspace and no one on the caution.
We understand perfectly. Sweet car 70 Alpha.
This is a little special of a situation here. Due to the lower flight level, our target speed has reduced, so the airplane is going to a rather steep climb, and we have to use vertical speed in order to get the rate of climb under control. But we have to be aware that once the speed is down to the target speed, and the engines are going to spool up, then we might very well end up with a situation where we might end up in a situation where the engines do not have sufficient thrust to keep the rate of climb. So that's something to be very careful with when using vertical speed mode at high altitude. And 1 to go. In the end it didn't happen in this case. The highest we had was like 2 or 3% below the maximum and 1, but we have to have an eye on this.
5 right, 1H1017, flight level 70, it's 346.
Negativo, devi scendere come pubblicato sulla star, guarda la carta e scendi come pubblicato sulla star. Il QNH 1017, transition level 70 e non sei ancora autorizzato il localizer.
Proceed as published on the charts, flight level 70, QNH 1017.
Everything's under control. This is just beautiful, isn't it? Like, MSFS really has such amazing scenery. I can't emphasize it enough. Previously, when I've been using prepared by Lockheed Martin, I've downloaded a lot of photoreal sceneries, and I have had over a terabyte of photoreal scenery. And now, in MSFS, we're just getting all of this for ourselves. This, by the way, is Milano, if I'm not mistaken. Always an amazing approach going there in real life. Beautiful. Okay, VNAV and con set.
The 3551 for spacing, turn left heading 110. With 265 for spacing, turn left heading.
Alright, so Andrew's asking in the comments here, is there a reason why we use vertical speed instead of VNAV given the risk of having insufficient thrust available? Yeah, that's because we don't want the rate of climb to go too high. Have a look at my climb tutorial where I'm explaining the exact backgrounds here. It's mainly to avoid Mawson's TCAS arrays.
I don't know. I call you when I'm ready to give you the clearance, so be ready always.
Okay, but 20 minutes,
I don't know, probably 20 minutes.
Alan is asking, have you ever deployed reverse thrust before touchdown? It can deploy them 90 centimeters above the ground, right? Yes, that's right, it can, but no, we absolutely don't do it. We don't extend the reversers in flight. Because the moment you pull the thrust reversers, you are committed to land, and we don't want to commit ourselves to landing until we are on the ground.
Milan radar, top 681 Victor, so flight level 240 heading Panas, climbing for 370.
Ryanair 2407 Milano.
Ryanair 2407, go ahead.
1242, ciao.
1242, ciao.
German Cargo 558, contact Roma.
So let's use the timer ready to start preparing for the approach.
Roma 1242. Grazie Milano, we'll see you next time.
No, grazie. Gotta love the Italian accent, I really do.
Milano Radar Tango Victor Go, flight level 400, inbound Ulster.
Papa Victor Golf Milano, ciao, radar contact.
So, ILS Zulu 16 right or Whiskey 16 left, Romanian use left and right, departures 25, transition level 70, 260 at 10, Kavok, 22 degrees 1019. Let's pre-select that. Advise you have information Delta. Okay. So we've got the choice, 16 left or right. Let's have a look real quick into where we are parking.
Milano Radar, buongiorno, Delta Front with 370.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, Milano Radar, ciao, no flight plan received, please disconnect and reconnect with the flight plan, thank you.
So usually we're parking somewhere over here, if I'm not mistaken, on a Schengen flight.
Delta Front, say again please.
So let's see what runway is better for it. Actually, probably 16 right.
Bene, we'll try to do so too.
But I want to see a little bit of the scenery.
551 Milano direct 5.
Let's request 16 left, shall we? No clue if we're gonna get it. Probably not.
73 Alpha Milano for staging turn right to 20.
Right heading 220.
Lufthansa 8 Lima Milano continue descent.
Actually, both runways should be fine. Let's just quickly check if there's any specials on 16 right, because I haven't actually landed there yet. And on 16 left they have this standard 1 taxi route that we have to prepare for.
People, the 546 Milano Radar, I saw a mistake on your plan, ready for rerouting.
So Alpha Golf, Alpha Hotel, they say. Reverse thrust above idle shall not be route on 16 right unless required for safety reasons, okay.
Oscar, then Echo Lima Bravo. Resume your flight plan from Echo Lima Bravo.
Emerald procedures, yep, clear. So Delta Golf is probably what we're aiming for, 1,766 meters.
Negativo Bacro, Bravo Alpha, Kilo Romeo Oscar.
Bacro.
Easy to 08, Unicom 128, ciao.
128, easy to 08, thank you.
Kelmo 1598, Unicom 128, ciao.
Unicom 128, ciao, tobacco.
That was fun after disconnection with you again, with level 370.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, Milano, ciao, radar contact. Walker 21, correction in the guard.
So someone's asking in the comments how many years I am from flying intercontinental routes. Well, if you want to take it exact, I am flying intercontinental routes already, because we are flying both to the Middle East and North Africa. So, if that counts, yeah, I fly intercontinental in the Boeing 737. Well, now, on a more serious note, I don't know. We'll have to see. Stepping up into long haul is, well, calling it stepping up at all is not something that I would say is better than flying short haul. It's just different.
11770, continue down, established on the Bravo Highway to the Hammer.
So, where's that information on the standard taxi routes here?
Campus 992 Milano, ciao, radar contact, maintain 280. Maintain 280.
Ah, here it is. It's just on 16 left. Standard 1. It's taxi via Delta, hold short Echo Golf, stand by on ground frequency.
Ciao, radar contact.
So another question from the comments here, am I using any airline procedures in the sim? Yeah, I am following the pretty much exact standard operating procedure of the airline I work for, just slightly modified for single pilot operation in the flight simulator. But I'm still trying to bring as much of the real conversation and real procedures that we're using as I possibly can as a single. guy.
Traffic ahead, cannot provide.
Okay, so 16 right. There is no standard routing here as far as I can see. Alright, let's quickly start setting up for the approach, because Fiumicino is an airport that I'm not flying into very often, so I just want to be on the safe side, having everything set up by the time we actually get there.
Patron 0228, Roma radar 1242, ciao.
Itaro 0228, 1242, ciao, grazie.
Ethiopian 712 Milano, ciao, radar contact, Mebur 3 Echo, arrival for ILS 23 for right Malpensa, descend now, flight level 10.
Mebur 3 Echo arrival for ILS 2, runway 25 right, and confirm now, level 1.
So that looks about like what we are looking for. Sybil 3 Alpha arrival.
330, Roma radar 1242, ciao.
And then the ILS Zulu 16 right is what they said, coming from Suvok over here. Okay.
And descend 330.
Yes, certo, 330 descend, driver.
Lufthansa 8 mm, Milano, speed 210 knots, and turn right 360. Unable. Okay, traffic in Torino.
They're pretty busy here as well. Now I'm actually impressed by the order they have on their frequency. Sometimes even in a real Italian airspace, it can get a little worse if everybody's talking on top of one another. So the controllers here are doing a pretty good job. And I just love the radar contact.
360, Lufthansa 8 mm, continue to descend altitude 5,000 feet, QNH Milano Nate 106, transition level 70.
Milano radar, hello, Itaro 9931, climbing 5,000, passing 3,800.
Stand by. Lufthansa 8 mm, continue to descend altitude 5,000 feet, QNH Milano Linate 106, transition level 70. Itaro 9931, Milano radar, ciao, radar contact, climb 290.
150290, Itaro 9931.
Alright, so threats for the arrival is most definitely the taxi. Fiumicino is quite a complicated airport and probably a lot of traffic, so we'll take it slow. If there's any doubt about the routing, we're going to stop the airplane and confirm with ATC. Apart from that, the high energy approach could be a little bit of an issue here, as we are basically coming in with this long protracted arrival, but in case they turn us in from GPUB, we might be at level 90. Within 25 miles already.
Stand by, sir, stand by. KLM 456 Milano. KLM 456 Milano.
Okay, so...
KLM 456.
Affirmativo, descent 370, Roma radar 1242, ciao.
Speed 250 below 100, forecast page is in. Rings will take Romeo 16 left for now.
Roma radar 1242.
Sorry, Romeo 16 right, of course, I meant to say.
124.2 and descend for level 320.
So 16 right, we'll set 105, 10 and 4 miles. So for the routing then, we've got the Sybil 3 Alpha arrival, that's taking us. From Sybil, 119, 28 miles to Iblak, then 158, 8.9 to go pole between 150 and 270. This is maximum 270 knots, so let's reduce that. Here we go. So, Gopal, max 250. Then on to Jigsaw, max 230, 0. 220, GPAP, max 220 between level 90 and level 110. Then we've got waypoint 422. That's 5 miles out. Let's set flight level 75 there, so that by the time we're passing this we'll be at level 90, just in case we actually get a straight-in approach here. Then we're going via 422, 423, 424, all of them max 220 knots, 426, 427 and 428 all the way to Subak. And Subak is max 200 knots. That leads us to the ILS Zulu approach. Romeo 16 right is on a chart 11-3 effective 13th August. Frequency is 109.75, active both sides, course is 159. Elevation 7 feet with 0 selected up in the pressure panel. MSA from Ostia VOR 3,700 in the north, 5,800 in the east and 2,300 in the south and western sectors there, which is basically over the water. So, going on from there, from Subak we'll proceed to Maven.
Contact from a radar 12.
And then we have our final approach fix at 7.8 dm from Ostia. That's the Charlie India, 2,500 feet, 3-degree glide path. At the outer marker we'll check 1338, that's in the box, and we're going down to a minimum of 210, set left and right. For the missed approach, climb on 159 degrees to 400 feet, that's 159, 400. Then turn right onto radial 192 Ostia, climb the 3,000 feet. That's track 192. From Ostia, cross 2,000 feet with a 9.5 dm from the ILS or 9 dm Ostia. Okay, so we have 9 dm Ostia, and then continue to 19 dm and hold. So that's what we have in here. Okay, let's see. Then we'll also need Ostia for the approach, 14.9, and that's going active onto both sides. Alright, if we go around, press toga, call go around flap 15, set go around thrust, raise the landing gear with a positive rate, 400 feet, verify LNAV, flaps 5. There is no speed restriction on the missed approach, so we can clean up completely, flaps 1 up, and once we're level in 3,000 feet, we'll engage the automatics, run the after takeoff checklist, and decide on the further course of action. For a diversion to Napoli, we need 2.4 tons of fuel. We arrive with 2.7, but that's including the whole arrival, so that's just about 5 minutes extra, including the complete arrival transition. So I don't expect any problems here. Also, the weather in Fiumicino is good, so if we have to, we could commit to landing in Fiumicino. So, burning off 900 kilos in here. Let's calculate with 700 kilos in case we get some shortcuts. That's going to be 52.1 then. So 52.1. Landing en route. We're going to Roma Fiumicino. Runway 16 right. 2.5 dry. What's the wind? Most conservative, I would say, is 290 at 10. So that's 6 knots of tailwind. That's okay. 22 degrees, 1019. Let's start with flap 30, see where this is going. Line of weight 52-100. Okay, we don't have any data here for vacating the runway, but let's quickly recheck. We've had some data in the general charts here. So, 16 right. Alpha Golf, 2,000 meters for light and medium aircraft. So exit Alpha Golf is what they want us to go. 2,000 meters. Let's see. Yeah, we'll take order brakes 3. Not more than that. Flaps 30. Auto brakes 3, and that means brake cooling time of 22 minutes. That's fine, since we are going to leave the airplane over there.
Milano, buongiorno, cargo looks 910, heavy with you, level 350.
German cargo 2 to Golf, Milano radar.
Alright,
Yes,
so
128, Sean.
for the taxi, as we've basically talked about earlier on already, going to vacate in Alpha Golf, and then most likely, I guess, either via Alpha Hotel
Climb 350.
and Romeo into here, or maybe via Zulu Mike Romeo. And then either Romeo or Charlie Foxtrot onto the 500 stands over here. Okay, that should be pretty much it for the approach briefing. Let's do the descent checklist. Well, actually, let me first talk to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, this is your captain speaking. We are shortly going to start our descent towards Rome Fiumicino Airport. The remaining flight time is in the region of approximately 40 minutes. The weather in Rome is very nice, temperature 22 degrees centigrade. We would like to thank you very much for choosing Ryanair and PMDG for today's flight. We hope that you have enjoyed it as much as we did, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board of a future scheduled or unscheduled service. Indeed, the next service we're looking at is between Amsterdam and Vienna this evening. So, thank you very much for your attention. We hope that you have all enjoyed your flight and wish you a very nice day in Rome. Have a applicable and nice and safe continuous journey. Enjoy the lovely weather. 124.2 Ryanair, 133 Charlie, ciao.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, Milano Radar, contact Roma Radar, 1242, ciao.
Descend flight level 200, reduce speed at 250 knots or less.
Cyan 10 Echo, descend flight level 200 and speed 250 or less.
Interro 0228, contact Roma 125.5, ciao.
125.5, Charlie 0228, ciao.
Echo Bravo Charlie 1212, Motus 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS Whiskey 16 left. Stand by guys. Echo Bravo Charlie 1212 Roma.
Echo Bravo Charlie 1212 Roma, expect ILS for 1.
That's nice. I'm just looking at my TCAS here, and there's 4 targets all around. I never expected that at this time of the day on a Sunday.
Darro 0228, contact Roma 125.5. LM 456, resume navigation direct, CBIL descent flight level 200.
Direct CBIL descent flight level 200, KM 456.
KM 456, correct. Start to reduce speed at 250 knots or less.
250 knots or less, KM 456.
Liguria, the correction looks at 6551, continue descent flight level 200, start to reduce speed to 250 knots or less. Alpine 42 Charlie Delta.
Oh boy, this guy's busy.
127.950.
But well, we've got a couple minutes left till our top of descent. Let's see if we can eventually check in.
209 Roma.
Go ahead for
209, descend flight level 200, reduce speed at 250 knots or less.
Descend flight level 200 and reduce speed to 50.
Ryanair 8, Juliet, contact Padova 147.375.
Blocked.
Ryanair 8, Juliet, contact Padova 127.375.
127.375, ciao.
Delta 74 Echo, contact Roma 125.5, ciao.
125.5, Cyan 10 Echo, ciao.
Pine 64 Hotel Golf, Roma.
That was from Roma Radar, with you flight level 370.
Ciao, I call you back. Sierra Whiskey Echo 73 Alpha, Roma.
Sierra 73 Alpha.
Sweet Care 73 Alpha, ciao. Descend flight level 200 to cross the CBIL. Expect
Not going to need the NDB for the arrival.
3 Alpha arrival for ILS approach runway 16 right.
Flight level 200,
set 25 Tango, Roma Ciao, continue climb flight level 3, correction, 240.
Climbing flight level 2 for the road.
Liguria 92 Mike, clear the Latina 3 Alpha arrival, expect a 16 left, descend flight level 200. Liguria 92 Mike, descend flight level 200, clear the Latina 3 Alpha arrival. Liguria 92 Mike, descend flight level 200.
Roma Ciao, Ryanair 133 Charlie, level 350 inbound, CBL.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Ciao for spacing and sequencing, turn right heading 200 degrees.
Heading 200, Ryanair 133 Charlie. We can slow down a bit as well if it helps. Okay, heading select. So he'll try to separate us from the guy in front here.
6551, resume navigation direct to CBL.
Resume navigation direct to CBL, 6551.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, speed 250 knots or less.
250 knots or less, Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1.
Roma, buongiorno, Sahaja 1, flight level 290.
Sahaja 1, Milano, correction, Roma, Ciao, radar contact, RETEB 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS Whiskey 16 left.
I like this guy's accent. He really sounds like the real Rome controllers. Roma Ciao.
Sahaja 1.
Lovely.
Sahaja 1, correct, descend flight level 170 to cross RETEB.
Descend 170 to cross RETEB, Sahaja 1.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1 for sequencing, turn right heading 220 degrees.
Right 220, Delta Foxtrot Roma 1.
With Air 261, Roma Ciao, cleared GTOD 2 Foxtrot arrival.
This is 2 Foxtrot arrival with Air 261.
With Air 261, correct, descend flight level 250.
And descend 250 with Air 260.
Roma Ciao, top to
Alpine 64 Hotel Golf, contact Roma 1255, El Cap 3 Alpha arrival. Echo Bravo Charlie 1212, contact Roma 127, decimal 950. Alitalia 209, contact Roma 127, decimal 950. Alitalia 209, contact Roma 127.
So there should be Pisa just on the right. Yeah, it is. That is an incredible sight, isn't it? The circling and approach in Pisa. Now there's the airport. That's going to be really, really nice as well. I'm just hoping to eventually get a good scenery for Pisa one day, and then we're surely going to go there and do that.
Ligurian 92 Mike, reduce speed at 250 knots.
Reduce speed at 250 knots. Roma Ciao, top to 250. Hello, it's level 250.
Austria 907, Austria 907, contact correction, switch to Unicom 1228, ciao. Austria 907, switch to Unicom 1228, ciao.
Roma Radar Threat 381 Victor Zulu with you at flight level 350 heading Turbo.
I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm just in love with the scenery in this simulator. It looks so great. And finally having some good aircraft is also... I tend to say now we've really arrived in the age of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Previously we had the choice between good scenery, aka MSFS, or good aircraft, aka P3D or X-plane, but now we've got both. Blocked.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend flight level 200.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descent level 200. How many miles can we expect until Xebil?
You can turn direct Xebil now.
Grazie mille, direct Xebil now, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
And sorry, clear the Xebil 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS 16 right.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Xebil 3 Alpha arrival, expect 16 right, descent level 200, reach Xebil.
Ryanair 1975, reduce speed at 250 knots or less.
So, plane wants to be there at 281, so we'll have to do quite a descent now.
Ryanair 1975, contact Roma 127.975, correction, 950.
Yeah, 4,000 feet high, all that's expected.
With their 261, descend flight level 200.
Descend to flight level 200 with the 261.
They set 25 Tango, climb flight level 300.
So we need 2,900 feet a minute.
Top speed set 22, proceed, correction, clear the Helio 3 Alpha arrival.
Should be able to do that easily.
Dollar set 22, proceed direct go, correction, proceed direct Pushback.
Direct Pushback, top speed.
Correct, descend the flight level 200, 200, expedite.
And descend flight level 200, top speed.
Ryanair 009, 102, from level 1, 900 with you.
Four stations together, Austrian 505.
4 stations together, incredible.
I will expect a 16 left.
That's what I'm expecting of an overload event. They're taking it literal here in Italy. I like that. I like that. Alright, we can stow the speed brake again. 2,400 feet a minute is all we need.
With their 261, contact Roma 127, that's 950.
Again, sir, with the 261.
Guys, I will contact you. You're both in the frequency. With their 261, contact Roma 127, that's 950.
127.950 with their 261.
Sahaja 1, contact Roma 127, that's 950. Ciao.
127.950, Sahaja 1, ciao.
With care 73 Alpha, contact Roma 125.5 with speed. Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, resume navigation direct Xebil, descend flight level 200.
Direct Xebil, descending 200, that's the front end, please advise my arrival and runway.
Call you back shortly. Break Ryanair 133 Charlie, clear the Xebil 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS approach runway 16 right.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Xebil 3 Alpha arrival, ILS 16 right. Okay, we had that before, but Xebil 3 Alpha 16 right. That's briefed.
200.
250, that's descent level 200, clear them, flight and light.
Lufthansa 230 Roma, ciao, clear the Xebil 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS approach runway 16 right. Ryanair 009, radar contact, climb flight level 300.
Level 300, Ryanair 009.
Austrian 505, contact Roma 127.950.
Contact Roma 127.950, Austrian 505.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, started your speed at 250 knots or less, contact Roma 125.5.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, speed 250 or less, 125.5.
Bird 546 for the extent.
Okay, we've got to help it a little bit here.
Speed 250 knots. Climb 456 left.
Let's quickly recheck on the ATIS.
Left on heading 360, Karen 456.
Foxtrot. Roma Ciao, Ryanair 133 Charlie, passing 2140, descending 200 in Xebil, and reducing speed 250 or less.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Roma, good day. Civil 3 Alpha arrival ILS Zulu, runway 16 right.
Civil 3 Alpha arrival, ILS Zulu 16 right, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
ATR 0228, continue descent, flight level 80.
Flight level 80, ATR 0228.
KLM 456, continue turning, heading 195.
Continue turn heading 195, KLM 456.
Look fair 6551, descend flight level 170.
Same for level 170, look fair 6551.
Sweet Care 73 Alpha, descend flight level 180. Giant 74 Echo, contact director 131.25.
13125, Giant 74 Echo, ciao.
ETR 0228, continue descent, altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1019.
6,000 feet, QNH 1019, Richard 0228.
Watch out, top Swiss 22, flight level 200.
Top Swiss 22, Roma, good day, speed 250 knots, please.
250 knots, speed, stop, please.
KLM 456, continue presence heading 250.
Present heading 250, KLM 456.
Alpine 64 Hotel Golf, continue descent, flight level 80. ETR 0228, contact director 131.25, call sign only.
131.25, call sign only, ETR 0228.
Top Swiss 22, descend, flight level 180.
I'm gonna tell them.
Look fair 6551, continue descent, flight level 140. Top Swiss 22, continue descent, flight level 160. KLM 456, are you able direct GoPol?
Affirmative, direct GoPro, KLM 456.
KLM 456, proceed direct GoPol, rejoin standard arrival.
Proceed direct GoPro, rejoin standard arrival, KLM 456.
Alpine 64 Hotel Golf, continue descend, altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1019.
6,000 feet, 1019.
Look fair 6551, continue descent, flight level 100. Top Swiss 22, continue descent, flight level 120.
Descent 120, just confirm we can expect a 16 right, top Swiss 22.
Affirmative, sir, 16 right.
Thank you.
Sweetcare 73 Alpha, continue descent flight level 140. KLM 456, you can proceed direct KLM 456 standby. KLM 456 direct Jigsom.
Direct Jigsom, KLM 456.
My other, ciao, Delta Fox Roma 1 descending flight level 220.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, Roma, good day, speed 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots, Delta 1.
Ryanair 13 Romeo Charlie, descent flight level 190. Alpine 64 Hotel Golf, contact director 131.25. Luxair 6551, continue descent flight level 80. Top Swiss 22, continue descent flight level 100. Swed Care 73 Alpha, descent flight level 120. Speedbird 546, are you with me? Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend flight level 170.
Good day, Speedbird 546, flight level 200.
Speedbird 546, speed 250 knots, continue on Aircraft 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS Zulu runway 16 right.
Continue Aircraft 3 Alpha arrival, expect ILS Zulu runway 16 right, speed 506.
Luxair 6551, continue descent altitude to 6,000 feet, QNH 1019. Top Swiss 22, continue descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, top Swiss.
Top Swiss 22, expedite descent please.
Expediting Top Swiss 22, we have star restrictions.
Swedcare 73 Alpha, continue descend flight level 100. Luxair 6551, contact director on 131.250. Ryanair 133 Charlie, continue descend flight level 100. Speedbird 546, cancel standard arrival, fly heading 270.
Fly heading 270, Speedbird 546.
KLM 456, what are you doing, sir? Cancel standard arrival.
I'm sorry guys, I have
heading,
accidentally muted my microphone. You can hear me again now.
I'll change the star flight heading 340, KLM 456.
Oh, air traffic control heard me as well, but otherwise he surely would have said something.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact, expect hold over GPAP, contact 131.1.
Expecting the hold over GPAP, not cleared yet, contact 131.1, Ryanair 133 Charlie. Okay, let's quickly see where that is. Radar low, Ryanair 133 Charlie, flight level 157, descending 100 in Mount Usiru.
Radar 133 Charlie, good afternoon, roger. Anticipate hold at GPAP, Golf India Papa Alpha Papa.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, anticipate hold at GPAP, just confirm we are not cleared into the hold yet.
Ryanair 133 Charlie,
okay, let's see. GPAP. That is going to be 069 inbound. Left hand turns 4 miles.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, enter the hold at GPAP.
Ryanair 133 Charlie entering the hold of a GPAP and will reduce speed. So let's see, we've got 11 minutes of holding available until we have to decide if we want to commit to landing in Fiumicino or not. So let's see what's gonna happen in that time. But let's quickly have a look. The weather is perfect in Fiumicino.
133 Charlie, reduce holding speed.
133 Charlie reducing holding speed. 197. Yeah, let's quickly review. The weather in Fiumicino is good. We don't have any NOTAMs currently affecting the arrival. Traffic doesn't seem to be too far either. He didn't give us an EAT, so it's going to be less than 20 minutes. So that should be all fine. If we have to, we could commit to landing in Fiumicino and dump our alternate. So let's quickly see how much that's going to give us. So final reserve fuel 910, let's make that 1 ton.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend flight level 80.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descent level 80. Set, 80 checked. So if we do that, we have an hour and 35 of holding available. No problem at all. Put the 2.4 back in for now. But plenty of fuel. So there doesn't seem to be a whole lot going on here at the moment on this frequency. So I guess it's not gonna be too much of an holding here. Maybe another 1 or 2 rounds, but let's see. Right, time to get the passengers in. In the meantime, we are going to enjoy the view on whichever lovely city this is down here. Altimeters.
Hot manager.
Plus 100 to 780, 10 checks. Fuel is balanced, 4 pumps on, the lights are on, angle of bank 25, air cannon dress. 440 semi set, fast melts are on, recall checked. 1.5 deselected, and let's quickly call up the cabin, tell them what's going on.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend, flight level, descend to altitude 6,000 feet, QNH 1019.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend 6,000 feet, QNH 1019. Set, 6,000
Delta
check.
Foxtrot Romeo
Set altimeter 1019.
Reduce and hold in speed, Delta Foxtrot Roma 1.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, descend, flight level 1, descend, flight level 100.
Okay, so cabin crew,
100 Delta Foxtrot Roma
we're
1.
currently in a holding. I'm not going to give you the 10 minutes to landing yet, but I'll give them to you once we start leaving the hold. Just be aware that it might actually go a little bit faster depending on what air traffic control is doing then.
Roma, hello, KLM 57 November, request affected for hold their backup.
KLM 57 November, roger. Maintain flight level, maintain 7,000 feet and hold at backup. Are you able hold or unable hold?
We are unable hold, we need vectors.
Right, 75 November, roger.
Also, for KLM 57 November,
Lufthansa 230, good afternoon. Hold at the GIP hub at flight level 110.
Roma, good afternoon, Ricardo 179 with you, hold backup, flight level 150.
201, KLM 57 November, flight headed 165.
flight heading 165, KLM 15, KLM 5 November.
Romeo Lima 1123, descend to altitude 8,000 feet.
So 3 more minutes in the hold,
Romeo Lima
so the next
123,
time we
descend
are
8,000 feet.
inbound we'll have to decide if we are going to dump the alternate or not. But I still don't see any changes that make a
Romeo
diversion
Lima
necessary. So let's forget about the alternate and decide that we're going to stay here in Fiumicino. Want to go?
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm trying to call you. Descend to altitude 8,000
Vertical
feet.
speeds.
Roma, good afternoon, Ricardo 1794 with you, holding backup, flight level 150.
It's at 1794, descend flight level 120.
120, Ricardo 1794.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo, descend to altitude 9,000 feet.
9,000 feet, Delta Foxtrot Roma 1.
Good afternoon, Oscar. Echo Romeo, Bravo Romeo.
We'll see, the 737 currently has the issue that it tends to bust the level slightly, but it is eventually going to get back.
Bravo Romeo, Roger, hold it back up at flight level. Correction, descend to 9,000 on 1019.
Descend 9,000 and hold at back of 1019 Bravo Romeo.
Radar, hello,
Yeah, come on, airplane. Vertical speed.
Italia 9931, hold at GIPAP, flight level 120.
Hold at GIPAP, flight level 120, Italia 9931.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, descend to altitude 8,000 feet.
8,000, Delta Front.
KLM 57 November, turn left heading 350 degrees.
Left heading 350, KLM 57 November.
Oscar Bravo Romeo, reduce holding speed.
Reduce holding speed, Oscar Bravo Romeo.
Italia 1794, reduce holding speed.
Data 17, please say again.
Reduce to holding speed.
200, confirm.
Holding speed. Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, turn left heading 340 degrees.
Turn left 340, Delta Front, please confirm.
Hello, approach KLM 456, flight level 130, heading 170.
KLM 456, good afternoon. Maintain flight level 130.
Maintain flight level 130, KLM 456.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, descend to altitude 5,000 feet.
Descended 5,000, Delta Front.
Delta Foxtrot 1, contact director 131.25, bye-bye.
13125 for Ciao, Delta Front.
Lufthansa 230, descend to flight level 70. Flight level 80, sorry.
Come on, PMDG, fly that holding a bit more
Italia
accurate, please.
9931, descend, flight level 90.
Oscar Bravo Romeo, we are currently unable to enter the hold. Can we get a vector?
Using reserve fuel, that's
Oscar
checked.
Bravo Romeo, turn right, heading 165, correction 160 degrees.
Right 160 degrees, Oscar Romeo.
KLM 57 November, turn right, heading right, and turn heading 180 degrees. Italia 1794, turn right heading 180 degrees. Italia Air 1794, right heading 170 degrees.
Italia 1794, please say again.
So,
Italia 1794 heading 1.
let's commit to landing at Fiumicino here.
Heading
Reserves down to 1, giving us an additional hour and 24 minutes of fuel.
Approach speed was 546, flight level 120.
Lufthansa 230, descend, flight level 70. Italia 9931, descend, flight level 80.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, request expected approach time.
Oscar Bravo Romeo, descend to altitude 6,000 feet.
6,000 feet, Oscar Bravo Romeo.
Oscar Bravo Romeo 946, unable hold, flight level 1, so heading 160.
And heading 160, Oscar Bravo Romeo.
KLM 57 November, turn left, heading correction right, heading 180 degrees.
Right heading 180, KLM 57 November.
Italia Air 1794, direct Romeo Foxtrot 47, correction 447.
Direct Roma Foxtrot 4.
Romeo, correction Ryanair 133 Charlie, proceed direct Romeo Foxtrot 423.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, direct Romeo Fox 423.
Lufthansa 320, direct Gip up.
Okay, direct 423. Cabin crew 10 minutes to landing.
Italia 1794, descend, flight level 110.
110 Italia.
KLM 57 November, turn left heading 250 degrees.
Left heading 25, confirm left heading 250 for KLM 57 November.
Yes, sir.
Roger.
Italia 1794, turn left heading 050 degrees, left hand turn. In fact, actually disregard.
Left 050.
Italia 1794 negative, proceed direct Romeo Foxtrot 448 and descend to altitude 6,000 feet on 1019.
Direct Roma Foxtrot 448 and descent at 110.
Italia 1794, contact director on 127 decimal, correction 131.25.
131.25 Italia 174. Thank you.
Oscar Bravo Romeo, contact director 131.25.
131.25, Oscar Bravo Romeo, saying have a good day.
Old manager of Galaxy 3, bound review.
KLM 57 November, route direct Romeo Foxtrot 444.
Romeo Foxtrot 444, KLM 57 November.
Lufthansa 230, enter the correction, leave Giphat hold, and descend to 6,000 feet standard. Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact director 131.25.
131.25, Ryanair 133 Charlie, bye.
KLM 57 November, descend to altitude 6,000 feet.
0 degrees, it's a left 360.
Left 180 degrees, Italia 174.
That's Fox Romeo 1, descend altitude 4,000 feet.
Descended 4,000, that was fun.
Well, 836 Alpha, descend 5,000 feet.
Descend 5,000 feet, airport 536 Alpha.
Directed shower, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, welcome 16 right and reduce speed, speed to 230.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, 16 right, increasing speed 230 knots.
Delta Foxtrot Romeo 1, clear direct approach, runway 16 right.
Clear left 16 right, Delta front.
Oscar Bravo Romeo, cleared approach, runway 16 left, descend 3,000 feet.
Clear Dallas 16, left descend 3,000 feet, Oscar Bravo Romeo.
Delta 230, welcome, expect ILS 16 right. Igaro 6979, welcome, expect ILS runway 16 right.
Alpine 42 Charlie Delta, contact tower 126 decimal, contact tower 127 decimal 625, ciao.
Tower 127 decimal 625,
sorry, Alpine 42 Charlie Delta, the frequency 118 decimal 7, ciao.
Director, located 5 November, heading 175, flight 6,000 feet.
Right, arrow 1794, continue descent altitude 3,000 feet please, and expedite descent.
3,000 feet expedite, arrow 1794.
Oscar, Echo Romeo, Bravo Romeo, continue the approach, receiving traffic 7 miles.
Alpine 42 Charlie Delta, stay again 60 to the tower.
It's 118.7, the other tower disconnected without telling me, apparently.
118.6.
Director KLM 57 November, heading 175, 6,000 feet, as expected.
KLM 57 November, continue present heading, expect ILS 16 left.
Continue present heading, expect 16 left ILS, correction, 57 November.
Right, arrow 1794, turn right heading 210 degrees, cleared ILS approach runway 16 left.
Right on 210, clear ILS approach runway 16 left with arrow 1794.
Portugal 836 Alpha, descent 3000 feet, cleared ILS 16 right.
Descent 3000 feet, clear ILS 16 right, Portugal 836 Alpha.
Rainer 133 Charlie, descent
16 right.
Rainer 133 Charlie, descent 5000 feet. Rainer 133 Charlie, descend to 5000 feet.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend 5,000 feet.
Okay, Echo Romeo, Bravo Romeo, contact tower 118.7, stop.
Yeah, microphone was muted again, sorry.
Oscar Echo Romeo, Bravo Romeo, contact tower 118.7, stop. He's gone. Delta Fox Romeo 1, contact tower now 118.7, speed 180 knots until 6 miles.
1187 and speed 180 till 6 miles, Delta front channel.
Arrow 1794, you can report established, the speed is yours.
We'll call you when establish 16 left with arrow 1794.
So let's see,
Portugal
Subak,
836 Alpha, reduce speed to 200 knots.
clearance limit as far as I can see.
Portugal 836 Alpha.
KLM 57 November, descent 3000 feet, clear dial approach runway 16 left.
Descent
Let's be sure to talk to ATC before
18
Subak.
left, 16 left, correction, 7 November.
Director, Itaro 9931.
Itaro 9931, welcome, descent 6000 feet, QNH 1019.
6000 feet, QNH 1019, Itaro 9931.
Ryanair 133 Charlie approaching Subak.
Rainer 133 Charlie, continue descent 4000 feet, speed 220 knots.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, descend 4000, speed 220 knots, and confirm the routing after Subak.
It will be the ILS approach runway 16 right.
So confirm we are proceeding via Maven to the final approach after Subak.
Yes, of course, it's right, it's Subak, Maven for the ILS Zulu 16 right.
Subak, Maven, ILS Zulu 16 right, Ryanair 133 Charlie, grazie.
Portugal 836 Alpha, speed 180 knots until 6 miles, contact tower 118.7, stop.
180 to 6 mile and 118.7, Portugal 836 Alpha, ciao. Director, hello, 752.
Tuner 752, confirm the call sign.
Tuner 752, correct.
Tuner 752, welcome, expect ILS 16 right.
16 right, 752. Approach to the...
Okay, let's do a frisk check real quick.
On the 340 heading.
So, frequencies, 109.75, rings, 26 right, 10-4, idents, India, Foxtrot, Romeo, Romeo, standby instrument set, course is 159R.
Romeo Lima 1123, expect 16 left.
Approach
speed,
checklist.
220.
Altimeters and instruments. Cross-checked. Approach aids. Checked and set. Approach checklist complete. Cabin should be secure by now.
Cleared ILS approach runway 16 right.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, cleared ILS 16 right. Okay, we'll use the on-off to intercept since we're still quite a bit out.
Ryanair 1975 is on 340.
Ryanair 1975, welcome, turn left heading 250 degrees, descend 3000 feet.
Turn left 250 degrees and descend to 3000 feet, Ryanair 1975.
Idarro 9931, descend 5000 feet.
5000 feet, Ryanair 931.
Lufthansa 230, descend 5000 feet, speed 200 knots. Ryanair 133 Charlie, speed 200 knots.
Speed 200 knots, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
Idarro 9931, continue descent 4000 feet, speed 200 knots.
4,000 feet, speed 200.
Okay, the indications look good. Approach armed. Warlock captured.
979, reduce speed to
Bomber heading 159.
Descend 6000 feet, QNH 1019. Case 3, Roma South, expect 16 right.
One of those again, off-scale traffic. Ah, back there, yeah, that's just the pilot acting up. So nothing to worry about.
Portugal 836 Alpha,
Flaps up capture, flaps 1. 3000 feet for the missed approach.
KLM 57 November,
set.
tower 118.7 south. KLM 57 November, contact tower 118.7 south.
We'll start slowing down here.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, contact tower 118.7 south.
118.7, Ryanair 133 Charlie, ciao.
KLM 57.
Fiumicino Tower, ciao, Ryanair 133 Charlie, Zulu 16 right.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, Fiumicino, continue approach runway 16 right, number 1.
Continue approach, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
Tower, hello, KLM 5 in November, ILS 16 left.
Flaps 5.
November, good afternoon, wind 26 degrees, 10 knots, runway 3, correction, runway 16 left, confirm.
Okay, left, good command, KLM 12 in November.
Are you ready for the
Train noted.
Roger, stand by.
Manual flight.
Traffic.
Yeah, off scale again, we'll ignore that.
Idarro 771, wind 260 degrees, 10 knots, left for immediate takeoff, runway 25.
Okay, so one more departure, runway 25 ahead. Probably going to pass over our runway, that's why we don't have landing clearance yet.
Air Portugal 36 Alpha, welcome to Roma, ground for 9, bye bye.
Ground for 9, Portugal 36 Alpha, ciao, grazie.
And gear down, flat 15. Ryanair 133 Charlie, 26, correction 16 right, clear to land. Right, landing checklist to flaps, start switches, continues, recall, checked, speed brake, on green light, landing gear, down 3 green, auto brakes, 3 set, flaps 25, will help it a little bit. Flaps 30.
Approach runway 16 right, and back to
Okay, flaps 30, 30 green light, landing lights on, landing checks complete. $500, continue.
Tower, good day, Ryanair 105 established on the localized for runway 16 left.
Ryanair 1975, Puma Tower, good evening, continue approach runway 16 left, number 1.
Continue approach runway 16 left, number 1, Ryanair 105.
100.
Checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
With 547, what are you waiting?
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Come on. There we are. So, speed brake up, thrust burst normal. Knots, 80 knots, manual brakes.
Film 57 November, continue taxi by Delta, hold short Echo Golf, contact the ground 19, bye-bye.
Delta, hold short Echo Golf, 57 November.
Tower, hello, Tower 9931, ILS 16 right.
Tower 9931, Puma Tower, good evening, continue approach 16 right, number 1. Correction, number 2.
So, some instructions where to go would be nice now.
Tower 41, are you ready for immediate departure?
Very well, we're beyond the line. Ryanair 133 Charlie, runway vacated.
Ryanair 133 Charlie, thank you, contact ground 19, bye-bye.
Ground point 9, Ryanair 133 Charlie.
Ryanair 1975, clear to land runway 16 left, wind 260
Clear to land runway 16 left.
Mike, Hotel November.
Cell 502 via Alpha Mike Hotel November, Whiskey for the grazie.
Ground Chow, Ryanair 133 Charlie, runway vacated.
133 Charlie, welcome to Fiume via Victor stand 70.
Victor stand 702, Ryanair 133 Charlie. Alright, I'm not gonna bother with the stand change now, they are busy enough here. We'll just take whatever they gave us. So, Victor is straight ahead, let's get clear of that exit.
EC 7976, Tazio in front Bravo Bravo, runway 25 via Sierra Hotel Romeo and Bravo.
So, Victor and then 702 is the first, okay. So, start the APU.
Lufthansa 711, Tower 118.7, ciao.
118.7, Lufthansa 711, thank you very much, bye-bye.
KLM 1596,
703, we don't want to take that.
Monitor 1187, bye-bye.
Ryanair 454, Monitor Tower 118.7, ciao.
Monitor Tower 187, bella lavoro Carlo, come sempre, ciao ciao.
Ciao. Eurowings 374, Monitor Tower 118.7.
Shutdown engine 2.
118.7, ciao, Eurowings 2.
Swiss 673, Monitor Tower 118.7, ciao.
So, 702 next to the left.
118.7, 673, thank you for your service.
KLM 57 November on frequency.
Affirm, go ahead.
KLM 57 November, welcome to Fiume via Delta Echo Golf Echo Bravo stand 201.
Echo Golf Echo Bravo, and can you repeat the stand number for KLM 47 November?
201.
2201 KLM 47 November, thank you.
KLM 1596, request taxi.
KLM 1596, taxi of the point Bravo Bravo, runway 25 via Golf, Echo Golf, Echo.
Holding point Bravo Bravo, runway 25 via Golf, and Echo KLM 1596.
596, correction, Golf, Echo Golf, Echo Bravo, November Golf.
No marshaller here, guidance system is off, then we'll just have to park ourselves.
Okay, so holding point 25, Bravo Bravo via Golf, Echo Bravo, November Golf, November and Bravo, KLM 1596.
This shall do.
596, correct, thank you.
2 blue, 1 red. Let's put the APU on fire conditioning. And we've got 20%. So, we'll have a jetway today. Is it coming? No. Now it's coming. So, shutdown checklist. Fuel pumps. Oh, here we are. Off. Electrical on the ground power. Fasten belts off. Window heat off. Probe heat auto. Anti-ice off. Electric hydraulic pumps off. Voice recorder. Switch not installed. Air compacts auto. Engine bleeds on. APU bleed off. Exterior lights set. Start switches off. Auto brakes off. Speed brake down to 10. Flaps out and light. Parking brake set. Start levers cut off. Weather radar off. Transponder 2000 standby. CVRCB in. Cockpit door to be unlocked. So, let's see. Landing rate, 30 feet per minute. Oh boy. But I did float a little bit, I have to say that. But let's see the full landing report to see how bad it actually was. Sim Toolkit is a little slow at times, no doubt about that. But the data we're getting from it is pretty good, so I'm not going to question anything here. So this is going to take a small while. Come on, give me that landing report. Alright, we're going to give this a short while until it's ready. So, in the meantime, shocks are in, so brakes are off. One hour 38, so that was about 20 minutes longer than what was actually planned. But doesn't matter. So, while we're waiting for the landing report, Okay, internet connection lost. Well, okay, so be it. I don't care. As long as you guys can still hear me, can you? Yeah, you can. Okay. So, let's go up to the questions. Why do pilots change their heading to the direction that they're flying towards, even when flying on LNAV? Pilot Paul basically answered it already, but let me just add on to that. Basically, when LNAV fails, the airplane is going to go into control wheel steering role and not directly into heading select. But the good thing is that if you had matched the heading previously, then you as the pilot can simply match it. So then you immediately have your heading select mode available. So that's what it's most important at. Alright, Svenny7 is asking a parallel approach. Yeah, indeed. You need, I believe, 1.6 or 1.5 kilometers between the two runways so that you can do independent parallel approaches. So Dennis is saying trimming sounds are much better than in P3D. Yep, they are a lot better. And the reason is that I recorded them in the real plane. So what you have now, straight away, straight out, is a recording of the real aircraft. While on the previous P3D version of the NGXU, I believe it was recorded on a full flight simulator, and they do sound quite different, the full flight to the real airplane. So this is straight from the real airplane now. So here we have our landing report. 30 feet a minute. And yeah, well, quite a bit behind the optimum aiming point, but well within the touchdown zone. So I would put that down as a passenger-friendly landing. So that means as much as Boeing says put it down on the aiming point and forget about the vertical speed, I would say we are well within the touchdown zone, so it's a safe landing. It was a very smooth landing, so passengers are gonna love it. So that's my opinion on this. So let's go on with the questions then. Under what conditions would you land with flap 30? Basically, we aim to use flap 30 most of the time because it saves fuel over flap 40, and the airplane also handles quite a bit nicer when you're using flap 30. So flap 30 is the preferred landing condition, but whenever brake cooling is an issue, or when the runway is just short, so stopping distance is a concern, then flap 40 is the way to go. But you've got your onboard performance tool for that, so that you can have a look at the exact conditions, and you can calculate the most optimal flap setting for your landing. So there was a question somewhere about sterile flight deck, and yeah, in most airlines it's sterile flight deck below 10,000 feet. In my airline it is sterile flight deck all the way from the beginning of the pushback to the top of climb, and then from the top of descent until you're parked at the gate with the engines shut down. So someone's saying 2,170 flights and over 7,000 hours. Yeah, well, that's what you get for doing flight simming for 12 years, I believe now. Something like that. And yeah, of course, quite some hours accumulate then. But I also accumulated a lot of hours when I did my theoretical ATPL studies. Because what I used to do is to take the PMDG 747, go on it long haul in real time, and then while flying long haul, then I studied for my ATPL. So that's how all those hours built up, and I surely did at least 1,000 or 2,000 hours like that. So Bill is asking, at what point do you discontinue using auto throttle on approach? Basically whenever we are disconnecting the autopilot as well. And when we are disconnecting the autopilot really depends on the workload. Personally, when there is not too much workload, I usually disconnect it somewhere around flight level 200-ish on the descent. But in order to do that there must not be a lot of traffic like we've had it today. The weather has to be good and so on. But basically my latest point where I usually want to disconnect is once we're established on the glide slope and before we're actually configuring the airplane for landing. Whenever it's possible, whenever workload permits, I like to fly that part manually. So Jura is asking, how am I doing? Well, I'm doing good, definitely. Andreas saying replay, so you speak about your landing. Well, I'm afraid I don't have any tool to do a replay in Microsoft Flight Simulator, sorry. So, QT is asking which tool am I using for the landing report. I'm using Sim Toolkit Pro. That one's also linked in pretty much all my video descriptions, and I think I've probably linked it under the stream as well. So someone's asking, can I explain quickly the speed brake detents? Well, in the 737, no, I can't say it, otherwise I'd probably be banned from YouTube. But a female colleague of mine had a mnemonics there. And my apologies to everyone, if you're under 18 years old, just don't listen now. And it's German anyway, so most of you will probably not be able to understand it. But she said, mit der Speedbrake, das ist wie beim Geschlechtsverkehr. Speedbrake und Schwanz nutzt man ganz. So yeah, that's pretty much, you haven't heard that, you never heard me say that. So it basically means, the speed brake on the 737 is not a very effective tool. So it's either in the down detent, which is where it's stowed. The 50% position is pretty much useless. And then you have the flight detent, which is the maximum you can extend the speed brake to in the air. So the flight detent is going to give you, depending on the situation, if you're at high altitude and high speed, it's giving you about 1,000 feet a minute extra. But at 250 knots, it's only going to give you some 500 feet a minute. And then if you're at the clean speed, it's going to give you between 300 and 400 feet a minute. Then, of course, we have the up position. That one's on the ground only. So on the ground, yeah, well, it's just going to extend the speed brake a little bit further. And in the air, that position is not available. In the air, flight detent is the maximum you can use. And then, of course, you have the armed position, which is what we're using on landing, and only on landing. So if you've flown the Airbus before, then don't arm the speed brakes for departure, otherwise you're going to get a takeoff config warning. And on landing, then you have to arm the speed brakes so that they extend straight away when the thrust levers are pulled to the idle position, even before the reversers are being extended. So Johnny's asking, will I fly the A320 from Phoenix? Oh yes, I definitely will. Peter the Sword, congratulations for 7,000 subscriptions. I didn't even see it yet. Thank you very much, Peter. I thought we were still somewhere in the mid 6,000s or so. So, everybody, thank you very, very much. I can't emphasize how happy I am that the channel is so well received. I'm blown away, really. I never expected the channel to become what it became in such a short amount of time. So German Escobar is asking, what's the max speed to use steering? Example, your fast exit on landing was using pedals or steering. How about in real life? So basically, the nose wheel steering is, or rather the rudder pedal nose wheel steering is giving you 8 degrees of a nose wheel steering, while the tiller could give you 75. When you're going at a speed of more than 30 knots, I would always use the pedals to steer in order to avoid having to over control the airplane, because then it becomes pretty easy to over control. So, then let's talk a bit about maximum taxi speeds as well. You can see it in my taxi tutorial, but basically when you're backtracking a runway, you can go up to 50 knots. On straight taxiway, 30 knots. On aprons, 15 knots. And on turns of more than 45 degrees, it's 10 knots maximum. On contaminated surfaces, 5 knots and as slow as you need to. I did at one taxi half a runway at 1 knot. That took like half an hour-ish. But what could we do? So, yeah, then I would use the tiller only below 30 knots. But even then, between 30 and 10, I would be very, very careful with the tiller, because it's easy to oversteer. And if you just do a full tiller deflection, then chances are that your nose wheel is just gonna fall off. So 10 knots is basically the speed where I would go to maximum tiller steering. And a high-speed exit from a runway can be taken with a maximum of 60 knots as per ICAO. I would reduce that to 55 to 45 knots, depending on the exact angle of your high-speed exit. And for that I would use the rudder pedal steering only. So, Gonzalo is asking, could I describe the parameters of a stabilized approach before the runway threshold? Yep, I definitely can. So, basically, you're looking at both localizer and glide slope deflection of a maximum of 1 dot. The speed has to be within VREF until VREF plus 20. So that's basically the white buck you have on the airspeed indicator. The rate of descent should not exceed 1,000 feet a minute unless briefed prior to the approach and required by the approach parameters. For example, if you're flying to London City with a 5-degree glide slope, then your vertical speed would most likely be greater than 1,000 feet a minute and required to be like that by the procedure. Apart from that, you have to have thrust setting that's appropriate for the phase of flight. So usually that's somewhere in the region 40 to 60% N1. But of course, that's also a little bit pilot judgment on what you need there. So, Charlie 972 is asking, we need an MCP tutorial. Yep, definitely on my list to come. Another day is asking, is the autoland better on the Boeing 737 or the Airbus A320? Well, I've never done an autoland in a real Airbus A320 yet, so I can't tell you 100%. What I can tell you is the real 737, let's call it in 80% of the cases, so in 4 out of 5 landings, it's doing a really smooth landing. And in the last 20%, it's just banging it into the ground. But mostly it's giving you a really smooth landing. And I would expect the A320 to be able to do the same. Jure is asking, do I plan to have regular scheduled streams? The problem is, I would love to do that, but since I'm working as an airline pilot, I would first of all need to have that regular time available in my life so that I could schedule a regular stream. Since that is not the case, I do usually announce my streams on my website, or rather on the YouTube channel, a couple hours before them. So if you just check the YouTube channel, then you will see that I have scheduled all my streams beforehand, so that you can at least prepare on hopefully short notice. Oh, Jojo, nice to see you here. It's been a while, hasn't it? And I still remember the words you taught me back then. But I guess I can't say them on the stream. So, Gonzalo is asking, does the OPT recognize if the MFRA corresponds to an NADP 1 or 2? No, it doesn't, because the minimum flap retraction altitude is independent of the noise abatement departure procedure. Since you only need the MFRA when you have an engine failure, you are automatically relieved from the NADP requirements. Therefore, the MFRA is independent of the noise abatement departure and can be used at any and has to be used just like it is in the OPT. So Philippe is saying, a question. Flying at 2,200 feet with the correct pressure reference set on the QNH, I should see the radio altimeter value equal or very close to the indicated altitude value. Yes and no. If you are approaching over water, then yes. But if you're approaching over land, then usually the airports or the terrain ahead of the runway is not always at the same altitude as the airport, so there can be differences, and that can be entirely normal. So Andrew is asking, do I have a separate tiller control in my setup? Well, I have the Thrustmaster Warthog HOTAS joystick, which I'm using as a tiller. Not quite the best, but I'm still waiting for a good deal for some piece of a hardware tiller. Roberto's asking, how do I reset the trim after landing? Have I assigned a key or is there a click spot? I have assigned the trim switches on my on the yoke that I'm using. So basically those switches you see moving here. And since I have assigned them to my joystick buttons, then I can simply reset them by holding the joystick to the nose down trim position while taxiing in. And actually, now that you mention it, I totally forgot to do it after this landing. So, good moment in time to do it now. Better late than never, I'd say. So, in real life, when do we start the boarding process? As soon as possible. So, of course, when we come aboard the airplane, that's in the morning, usually 40 minutes prior to the scheduled off-block time, the cabin crew will do their checks in the cabin, and when the cabin crew is done with the safety checks, then we start boarding. So that's usually no later than 30 minutes prior to the scheduled off-block time. But of course, when we do a turnaround, then we start once the passengers are deboarded, the cabin crew is quickly going to go through the cabin, do their safety checks, and maybe a little bit of cleaning if necessary. And once that is done, we start the boarding straight away. So Charlie is asking, what's the purpose of the course button on the MCP? I don't think Airbus has that one. No, Airbus doesn't. Basically, the two course selectors you see on the mode control panel, the left one and the right one, are for setting the VOR or ILS course. I've already turned my IRS off, so I can't show you that right now. But basically, they work the same as the course selector in its Cessna 172. And while it's true that Airbus doesn't have them on the flight control unit, the Airbus equivalent to the mode control panel in the Boeing 737, Airbus does have them as well in the navigation radio page in the FMC. So in there you can set the courses as well. It's just a different way. In the 737 you have to dial them in the Airbus you have to type them in. But if you go and look at some newer Boeings like the 777, they also don't have the buttons on the MCP anymore. In the newer Boeings you also just do it on the navigation radio page in the FMC. So Gonzalo's asking, are you supposed to set the MFRA on the barrel minimum setting or the acceleration speed? In my airline it's the MFRA. I know that some other airlines are setting the acceleration altitude. So that depends on the airline. Andrew is asking, do I plan to do flights in the sim around the world, for example the USA or South Africa in the future, or do I plan to stick to Europe? I definitely plan to do flights in other parts of the world. For example, you can see my full flight video from Boston to New York JFK. The only problem with that is that I want to do those flights online in VATSIM, so I need to do them at the time where ATC is online. And, well, in the United States, that's mostly between like midnight and 4 o'clock AM, my time. So I'm very sorry that I'm not flying there too often, but it's just that at the time where ATC is online, it doesn't really work with the lifestyle here in Europe. And for example, last weekend there would have been an event in North America that I would have loved to fly in, but I would have to fly between 1 and 3 AM. So that's, well, not always possible. And even today, I would love to do something in North or South America, but in 2 days' time I have to work several days on an early shift, so it's not really good for my sleeping rhythm to do it now. And to fly now until 3 AM, when in 2 days' time I have to wake up at 3 AM. So, 2 people are asking which airline I'm working for. I'm afraid that my airline is not very social media friendly, so unfortunately I'm not allowed to, well, say which airline I'm working for, or even give hints to it. Even though, based on the SOP I'm using, I'm sure many of you will be able to find out. But if you are finding out, then just don't post it in the comments, please. Because, well, as said, I'm not a spokesperson for the airline, and in fact I'm not even sure what the airline would think of those streams I'm doing, so let's just avoid that altogether and just take it as I work for a European 737 operator. So, somebody's asking, is the Earth flat? Well, you know, I'm not supposed to tell you, but next time I forget putting the chemtrails on, then you're probably going to understand. So Alan is saying, sometimes I see pilots banking their yoke during takeoff and landing and slowing down on the runway. What does that help with? Does it work doing this in the simulator? Applying aileron control is something essential in real life. Let's quickly have a look at the outside of the 737 and look at how close those engines are over the ground. It's about 8 degrees angle of bank that you need for the engine nacelle to hit the runway. Therefore, keeping the wings level is essential on takeoff and landing. And you really have to keep the wings level. So, in real life, just like in Microsoft Flight Simulator, unfortunately not so much in P3D or FSX, whenever you're applying significant amounts of rudder, like you have to in a crosswind situation, you also have to apply significant amounts of aileron in order to keep the airplane wings level. So let me give you a quick demonstration here. When you're rotating on a maximum crosswind takeoff, your rudder deflection looks like this, so it's pretty much maximum. And to counter that, you need about this much aileron, well, this much aileron to keep the wings level. So that's just how much you need. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, you can see that fully working. So I do have plans to do some tutorial videos on crosswind takeoff and crosswind landings. So those will be up within the next 7 days, probably even quicker. So you will get full explanations in them. So, Tube Helen is asking, was that Basel to Rome flight just a simulation and you're really just in your basement? Well, I'm not sitting in my basement, but apart from that, I'm afraid it was. So, the goalie is asking, hi Manuel, would you consider the PMDG 737's handling up to scratch, where I can practice basic maneuvers and touch and goes for upcoming sim assessments? It feels better than the certified AL sim I used for MCC. Well, it's not 100%, and I would not recommend you to practice hand flying anything. However, I would very much recommend you to use it to fly those profiles in order to improve your scan, your instrument scan. That's what I did myself, preparing for my assessment in my airline. And that's what it's really good at. just doing those things like doing the raw data flying, doing the instrument scan, and just getting an idea of how it behaves. So if you have an upcoming assessment on a Boeing 737, then yeah, most definitely use it. Use it to prepare. But don't expect it to handle 100% like the simulator you're going to have the assessment in. And yeah, you're right, it does feel better than some simulators certified for the multi-crew cooperation training. But you have to be aware that those simulators for MCC, they are certified to be MCC trainers. And they're not certified to replace the type rating. So yeah, those simulators definitely aren't perfect. And neither is the simulation in MSFS. So Gonzalo is asking, could I do a video of base training? Yep, I definitely will. I can't promise you yet when that's going to be out, but I am going to do it. Squealing Bagpipes is asking, why do pilots apply forward pressure during takeoff until 80 or 100 knots? It's until 80 knots in the 737. And that is so that the nose wheel is being pushed a little bit onto the runway, and therefore the effectiveness of the nose wheel steering improves at low speeds. So the rudder gets effective at about 60 knots of airspeed. Prior to that, you're mainly relying on the nose wheel steering, and in that transition period from 60 to 80 you also want the nose wheel steering to be available in case you need it. That's why you apply forward pressure on the control column. So, someone's saying, pilots know very well that the Earth is not round. Well, as said, my next flight I might forget the chemtrail button. Then we'll see what you're gonna think when you're not under the influence. Adam is saying, I just attempted manual reversion. Interesting that MSFS doesn't recognize the main landing gear is down. Yeah, it is. That one comes back to some bug. I believe P3D had it already, and MSFS definitely had it. PMDG is working on a workaround, but it's not their highest priority. Well, understandably, there are some things that are definitely higher priority for now. So Rio Sin is saying, fun fact, the simulator he flew on for his Beech 1900 type rating until the base check ran on X-Plane 10. Yeah, there you got it. I believe that simulator was probably designed to teach you the flows and to teach you the multi-crew concept in that airplane, and just to give you the general idea how the airplane works. And that's exactly the point where you don't need 100% fidelity flight model and stuff on. But there you need your systems to work, you need your rough pitch power values to work, but it doesn't need to be 100% exact in flying. That's what you got the full flight simulators for. And that's what you are going to do base training for in the real airplane. So, actually, yeah, that's totally normal. You always have to keep in mind, a real simulator is never 100% replica of the real airplane, but the simulator is certified to do what the developers have intended it to do. So if you have a simulator certified for multi-crew cooperation training, for basic type rating instruction, so for the first couple of lessons where you're just going to learn the flows, then it doesn't need to be 100% realistic in terms of flight model and stuff. Then it needs to be designed for the purpose that it's being used for. Alright, we've got the next stream coming up in not so much longer, between Amsterdam and Vienna. So I'm going to end the stream right here. Looking forward to see you all on the next one. It's going to last until maybe 10 or 11 o'clock in the evening. So see you over then.